Title: The Diddy Confession, Exposing the Swift Empire. It was the day the world was waiting for, the day Diddy, the notorious mogul, would finally face the music. The headlines were full of his indictment on charges ranging from money laundering to organized crime, but no one expected the bombshell he was about to drop in that cold, sterile FBI interrogation room. Diddy, a man known for his powerful connections and larger-than-life persona, sat across from two stern-faced FBI agents. His normally confident demeanor had been replaced with an unsettling sense of unease. The room felt suffocating, the silence heavy after hours of questioning. Diddy finally cracked his voice a low risk. "But you don't understand," he said, his eyes darting nervously between the agents. "This isn't just about me. It's bigger than anything you've ever imagined." The agents leaned in their pens, ready to capture every word. "It all goes back to her, Taylor Swift. She's the one pulling the strings behind everything." Diddy continued, his voice trembling. "She's been orchestrating all my crimes, every single move. I was just a pawn in her game." The agents exchanged skeptical glances. Taylor Swift, the pop sensation known for her wholesome image, selling millions of albums and winning countless awards. How could she be involved? Did alleged criminal activities? "I know it sounds insane," Diddy muttered, wiping sweat from his brow, "but you have no idea how deep it goes. She's been using me, manipulating me for years." Did he recounted a chilling series of events. It all started when Taylor Swift reached out to him during the height of her career, seeking help in expanding her empire. But what seemed like an innocent collaboration turned into a dark alliance. She had used Diddy's connections in the music industry, his wealth, and his influence to fund illegal activities, money laundering schemes, under the table deals with shady figures, and even using her own fan base as a cover for illicit operations. "She's the mastermind behind it all," Diddy confessed. "Every time I thought I was making a move on my own, it was her pulling the strings from the shadows." The agents listened intently, their minds racing. Diddy described how Taylor Swift had built an underground network using her massive influence to manipulate artists, agents, and even politicians. It's behind the veil of her innocent public persona. She had created a secret empire, a criminal network that spanned the globe. She had been laundering money for work concerts, hiding her dealings with offshore companies, and using her fans' loyalty as a shield to cover up her tracks. She knew how to play the game. Did he continued, his voice growing more frantic. "She used her sweet girl next door image to distract everyone. No one would suspect her, but she's the puppet master. I was just one of her puppets." The agents were stunned. This was nothing like they had expected. Taylor Swift, the face of pop music, the sweetheart of America, was she really behind all this? But Diddy wasn't finished. He had one final revelation that would send shockwaves through the world. "She's not just running a criminal operation," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "She's been building a network to control the entire music industry, and the people you think are innocent, they're all part of her plan." The agents were silent for a long moment, the weight of Did, his words sinking in, couldn't really be true. Was Taylor Swift, the woman who had always been in the spotlight, secretly pulling the strings behind the most powerful empire in the world? As the interrogation continued, Did he offered up more details, hidden meetings, encrypted messages, names of people who had been involved. But it was clear he was terrified of what would happen if the truth got out, and terrified of what Taylor Swift might do next. The story broke within hours, sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Headline scream: Asterisk, Diddy claims Taylor Swift behind his criminal empire. The world couldn't believe it. Fans were in disbelief, unable to reconcile the image of the innocent country pop superstar with the shocking revelations that Diddy had laid bare. Taylor Swift, as expected, denied all allegations. Her team quickly released a statement: Asterisk, these accusations are completely false. Taylor Swift has always been committed to her music and her fans. This is nothing more than a desperate attempt to deflect from Diddy's own actions. Asterisk title: The Great Expose, Diddy's shocking confession to the FBI. It was a cold, rainy afternoon when the FBI's interrogation room became the setting for one of the most unexpected revelations in entertainment history. Sean Diddy Combs, once a towering figure in hip-hop and business, sat at the table, his face pale and his eyes filled with a mixture of fear and guilt. Across from him, two FBI agents waited, pens poised over their notepads, ready for whatever came next. Dinier's life had been in free fall, facing multiple criminal charges, his empire crumbling. The music mogul had reached a breaking point in a move that shocked even his closest associates. He had turned himself in and agreed to cooperate with the authorities. But what no one could have predicted was the bombshell he was about to drop. As the agents pressed him for details about his alleged crimes, ranging from money laundering to organized crime connections, Diddy sat back, his hands trembling. Then, in voice barely above a whisper, he spoke the words that would say shockwaves through both the FBI and the celebrity world. "I didn't do it, not on my own." Diddy confessed, his voice cracking. "It was Taylor Swift. She was behind it. All the agents blinked, unsure if they had heard him correctly. The name Taylor Swift had never once come up in the investigation. Diddy leaned forward, his eyes darting nervously between the agents. She knew how to play the game, he continued. Everyone saw her as this sweet, innocent pop star, but that was just an act. She used me, she used all of us. The FBI agents exchanged a glance. This was unprecedented. They'd been investigating Duke, Eddie for months, but Taylor Swift, how could she possibly be involved in his criminal activities? Denier's eyes grew wide, his voice gaining strength as he revealed more. She came to me a few years ago, after she had already built up this perfect, squeaky clean image. She knew what? She wanted control, power, and access to every corner, the entertainment industry, and I was her way in. She had leverage over me, over all of us. Denier's mind raced back to the beginning. The first time Swift had approached him, it seemed harmless enough at the time. She wanted to collaborate on a few projects, mix her country pop roots with his hip-hop swagger. But what he didn't know was that she was already working behind the scenes, gathering information, manipulating people, and planting seeds for her grand plan. Taylor had connections everywhere. Video explained, his voice shaking. She was untouchable. Every record deal, every concert, every endorsement, she had the strings pulled behind the scenes, and I was her puppet. The agents listened intently, still processing the sheer audacity of the claims, but Diddy wasn't finished. She started pushing me to get involved in things that weren't exactly legal: money laundering for fake charities, orchestrating fake partnerships with businesses that didn't even exist. She made it all seem so norm. No, but it was all a cover for something bigger. The room fell silent as the agents took in the gravity of the situation. Diddy was implicating one of the biggest pop stars in the world, a name that had never even been linked to criminal activity. I'm not the mastermind here, Diddy pleaded, his voice rising in panic. I was just a part of her plan, a pawn in her game. She used me to get what she wanted. And when things started going south, she disappeared. She left me holding the bag. The FBI agents exchanged a silent look, the weight of the accusation hanging heavily in the air. If what Diddy was saying was true, it would send shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry. Taylor Swift, the image of innocence, now painted as the mastermind behind one of the biggest criminal schemes in Hollywood. As Diddy continued to spill details, he painted a picture of Swift as a cold, calculating figure who used her charm and celebrity status to manipulate everyone around her. He described secret meetings, coded messages, and of a vast network of under-the-radar operatives. The more he spoke, the more his words painted her as an orchestrator who had masterminded one of the most sophisticated criminal empires the FBI had ever encountered. Just as the agents were beginning to digest the enormity of the claims, Diddy dropped one final bombshell. There's more, he said, his eyes darting around the room. She's not done yet. She's already moving on to bigger things, bigger than anything you could imagine. But if you can stop her, maybe you'll have a chance to take down the whole empire. Title: The Ultimate Betrayal. Did he exposes Taylor Swift to the FBI? It was a cold November morning when the news broke. Sean Diddy Combs, the mobile and music icon, have been indicted on multiple charges related to financial fraud, bribery, and connections to organized crime. The world was shocked, not just because of the charges, but because of the stunning twist that followed. In a bizarre twist of fate, Diddy had reportedly turned state's witness, but not just about his own crimes. He was about to blow the lid off a secret so explosive it could take down an entire empire. Diddy sat in the interrogation room with the FBI headquarters, a stern expression on his face. His lawyer had been with him for hours, trying to convince him to stay quiet. But Diddy was done playing the game. With a deep sigh, he leaned forward, his voice low but filled with venom. You want the truth, the whole truth. It's not just me you've been chasing the wrong person. All along, the FBI agents exchanged curious. The room was tense as Diddy, once a godfather in a world of hip-hop, began his confession. It wasn't just about me, he continued, his fingers tapping nervously on the table. You think I'm the only one involved in these schemes? Think again. It's bigger than anything you can imagine. You've been focusing on my dealings, but I've been under the thumb of someone far more powerful, someone who runs everything from behind the scenes. The agents leaned in. Who could possibly be behind? Did his empire? Diddy? We need names, one of the agents pressed with a cold smirk. Diddy leaned back, crossing his arms. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but it's Taylor Swift. The room fell silent. Taylor Swift, the world-renowned pop star, the queen of the charts. The very thought of her being involved in organized crime seemed absurd, yet his eyes were steely and resolute. Taylor Swift. One of the agents repeated, disbelief in their voice. Yeah, you heard me, did, he said, his voice now shaking with the weight of his words. I've been working with her for years, and trust me, she's not just a country singer turned pop princess. She's been orchestrating things from behind the scenes. She's been manipulating people, pulling strings, laundering money, you name it. The empire she's built, it's all a front. The agents exchanged another look, trying to process this revelation. Explain. What exactly are you saying? How does she fit into all of this? Diddy took a deep breath. It started small back when she was just transitioning into the pop world. She wanted control, not just of, for me, music, but of the industry. She knew how to play the game, how to get people to trust her, how to make them believe she was this innocent, relatable girl next door. But I saw the real Taylor, the one who was willing to do anything to get ahead. He paused, his eyes flickering to the corner of the room, as if haunted by memories. I helped her with the connections, the money laundering, the fake charity schemes, and it just escalated from there. When I needed protection, she was always there pulling strings in the background, but when the heat came down, she threw me under the bus, left me to take the fall. The FBI agents were stunned. They'd never imagined the connection between Diddy and Taylor Swift, let alone the idea that the superstar had been involved in criminal activity on such a grand scale. So you're saying Taylor Swift is the mastermind behind your crimes? One agent asked skeptically. Not just mine, Diddy said bitterly. She's been pulling the strings behind a lot of high-profile cases. She's been involved in some very shady deals with people I can't even begin to name. She's got a network that spans far beyond anything you can imagine. The agents, trying to maintain composure, began to take notes. This was a game changer, a story so sensational it could shake the very foundations of the music industry and beyond. If what Diddy was saying was true, it was not just about him. It was about a much larger conspiracy. As the hours passed and Diddy revealed more, the FBI began to understand the magnitude of what was unfolding. The investigation into Taylor Swift's involvement would take months, even years, to unravel. But one thing was clear: the world would never look at Taylor Swift the same way again. And Diddy had just revealed the biggest secret of the century, exposing the queen of pop, something far darker than anyone had ever imagined. In the end, it wasn't just about crime and power, it was about betrayal. And Diddy had just exposed everything.